welcome back to my channel. I'm James. Today I'm going to be doing another video in my popular and highly requested video series. This is one of those unique spins though I'm going to put on this video today. So today we're going to be doing top 10 movies, a countdown of 4K Ultra HD releases that I never had the time to review previously. So I went through all of these dozens of releases that came out here just recently over the last few months and compiled a list and tested and analyzed all of these to determine what are the top 10 releases that I didn't get a chance to review that just recently came out here. So that way I can share with all of you some of these amazing must-own 4K Ultra HD releases that everyone needs to have in their collection. And every single one of these titles are truly must-own 4Ks. And if you followed me here on my channel, I've done dozens of these videos in this video series before. And this is the must-own 4Ks video series where I dive into, share my testing analysis, and do these really quick brief reviews and compiling them together in these fun countdowns of top 10 4K Ultra HD releases. And there's some amazing releases that we've got to talk about today. Now in this video, I'm going to do something special. I'm going to pull one native 4K image from each and every one of these in my top 10 countdown. That way you can see up above the native image pulled directly from each of these 4Ks and how amazing of an image quality each of these truly has. So I'll post those up above so you can see those as I'm breaking down and going through each of these in my top 10. Now, any of these 4Ks you want to buy or add to your collection, I've done all of the work for all of you and included the direct sale links from Amazon as a pinned comment in the comment section right below this video. So any of these you decide you want to buy after watching this video, make sure to use those direct Amazon sale links right down there below. It never costs you, the viewer, even a penny extra, but it does help to support the creation of these videos in this channel just a tiny bit. So make sure any of these you're gonna buy or add to your collection, always click on those Amazon sale links I post right down below. Now starting off at number 10 in my top 10 countdown of movies on 4K that I didn't have time to review previously, I'm gonna be cheating just a little bit here, and this is for two 4K Ultra HD releases that are very similar. We have both Pumpkinhead on 4K Ultra HD and the Blob. When I went through testing both of them, my analysis and testing were very similar results, and they are both amazing 4K Ultra HD releases. And the crazy thing is both of them are great 1988 cult classic horror and sci-fi movies that are really fun films from the 80s, and it's funny that they both came out in the same year too, 1988. Now, for the Blob and Pumpkinhead, both are native 4K 2160p's, and they both have Dolby Vision and HDR10 on them. I can tell you between the Dolby Vision and the HDR10 on both of them, the Dolby Vision was the clear winner on both of them. It was an easy 8% noticeable difference in just better color grading and better lights to darks on the Dolby Vision than the HDR10. The HDR10 was still great, but I will say the Dolby Vision was just elevating it a little bit above that, so I did enjoy the Dolby Vision transfer on both of them just a little bit more. Now for Pumpkinhead, over the 2020 Blu-ray release that they previously released from Stroud Scream Factory, which was in a limited edition SteelBook, this blew away that Blu-ray in image quality in every single category. With the implementation of that Dolby Vision and HDR10 and the new 4K scan they did of the original camera negative, this is a very nicely detailed image. Now, getting to the rough average bitrate, this had a very high and extremely healthy 89 megabits per second. It was one of those wow experiences. They did a great job with the rough average bitrate on this. Now talking about Pumpkinhead just for a second here, it is one of those by Stan Winston, who did a lot of those creature effects and a lot of amazing sci-fi films. He took it to this film and created kind of a horror experience using some amazing creature feature effects that I really think are hard to replicate these days. I love the physical effects over the CGI that they use nowadays, and it really holds up well in this film and is a great cult classic 80s film and is one of those that is highly recommended that you buy and add to your collection and is a must buy on 4K Ultra HD. Now, talking about the Blob, it had a rough average bitrate of 86 megabits per second. It was very healthy and strong, just a little bit lower than what Pumpkinhead had, but man, both of them in the 80s are really great experiences, and both images are extremely detailed. Though I will mention the Blob its actual work that was done with a 4K scan of the original camera negative was done by Sony. So just done a little bit differently, but Sony did an amazing job on the Blob, and I really enjoyed it. But both of them are must-buy, must-own 4K Ultra HD releases, and both of them come in at number 10. Now, if you want a recommendation of another great sci-fi film from the 80s with some horror mixed into it, I recently reviewed Night of the Comet on 4K Ultra HD. That was another amazing release by Shout and Scream Studios that really, if you haven't checked that one out, you need to check out that review here on this channel after you get done watching this video. Coming in at number 9 is Spider-Man Across the Spiderverse, and I can tell you this is one of those that is an upscaled 4K, but it's one of the most impressive looking upscaled 4Ks that I think I've ever seen. This film came out in 2023 and it is a sequel to the other Spider-Man animated film, but I will tell you I actually think I enjoyed this one a little bit more than the first one, which is rare for sequels. They really elevated their game with this film and took all the elements from the first film that worked well, expanded upon those, and created a really heartwarming and touching story that combined all the elements of Spider-Man that you love and all the different universes together in a great story. I was really impressed with this and surprised at how amazing this looks and sounds on 4K Ultra HD. This does have Dolby Vision and HDR10 and has a very immersive Dolby Atmos audio mix. It's one of those audio mixes that pulls you into the film. You feel like things are going all around you and above you. Like when they're shooting the spiderwebs and you hear it shooting overhead with the Dolby Atmos height channels. I thought that was an amazing effect that was used really well on this 4K Ultra HD release. So bravo, Sony. This is a must-own, must-buy 4K Ultra HD release you've got to have in your collection, and it will impress people when you show off your Dolby Atmos and how good this 4K image looks on this. The Dolby Vision and the HDR10 presentations with the lights to darks and the brilliant colors and shades of colors that are presented in this really are outstanding. If you enjoy movies and TV series, this channel is the place for you. Make sure to go down there, give this video a like and a thumbs up for me, hit that subscribe button and the bell notification. That way you never miss out on any of these videos that I release exclusively here on my YouTube channel. Coming in at number 8 is Bruce Lee's Enter the Dragon from 1973. This was his final film before he passed away. And I will tell you, it's tragic to think of that he was such a rising star and he was gone before his time. And he did have films that varying degrees have grown in cult status, but this is my favorite one of his films that he released. Now, for this film, it got a brand new 4K restoration with a native 4K 2160p transfer with HDR10 on it. I can tell you Warner Brothers did a phenomenal job with this. It absolutely obliterated all previous home video releases of Enter the Dragon that were ever released. Image quality wise is simply beautiful on this release, and I can tell you the depth and detail in the image is the best I have ever seen for this film. And I can tell you Warner Brothers did not stop there. They included an extra treat on this by giving us a brand new Dolby Atmos audio mix. It is very enjoyable. I was surprised at how well it actually used the height channels at times, moved things around, that really I did not expect to get at that level or that quality on this 4K release. Warner Brothers did an amazing job for this. Really surprised at the quality they released on this 4K. Now, for Enter the Dragon, its rough average bitrate got a decent 45 megabits per second. Now, it's not the highest. I would have loved to have seen this up in the 80s and 90s, but considering that the image is nicely stable and detailed throughout, I can't really knock it too bad because I can't really say that there was much in this that I didn't enjoy. The Dolby Atmos mix and the image are very enjoyable to watch and a huge upgrade over the previous releases. And to be honest with you, it goes along well with the Bruce Lee at Golden Harvest 4K set I previously reviewed. That's the limited edition Arrow Video box set of the other Bruce Lee films that got 4K restorations by Arrow Video. And in that box set I explained that the one film missing was Enter the Dragon on 4K. This goes perfectly in that box set. If you want to know more about that box set and my full review and analysis on it, you'll want to check out that review after you get done watching this video. But this is an absolutely must-own, must-buy 4K Ultra HD release by Warner Brothers. Don't miss out on this release. Now, all of these, as I explained, I put the direct sale links from Amazon in the description section and as a pinned comment in the comment section right below. So any of these you want to buy after watching this video, make sure to use those direct sale links right down below. Now, any of these that you're excited for, or any of these that you love the films and you're excited to buy them on 4K, let me know about your excitement down below. Start the conversation down below in the comment section and let me know what of these you're excited for, what of these you're thrilled got amazing 4K releases, and what of these you're gonna buy and add to your collection. All of these are something that really everybody needs to have in their collection. Coming in at number 7 is a personal favorite Western of mine. This is Rio Bravo. This film originally came out in 1959, and it's one of my all-time favorite Westerns done by Howard Hawks and John Wayne. And I can tell you there are so many films after this film came out, just like Assault on Precinct 13, which are actually homages and basically kind of remakes of this film. And John Carpenter even references that this film really influenced his career and his filmmaking style. It's absolutely wonderful. It's one of my highest recommendations for a Western film of all time that everybody needs to watch and experience. Well, I can tell you, thankfully, when Warner Brothers did their brand new 4K restoration of this, they released it in a native 4K transfer with HDR10 on it. That looks absolutely fantastic. The depth and detail they drew out of this. Now, there are scenes that Howard Hawks intentionally filmed with lenses and filters that are softer looking, but compared to the previous Blu-ray releases that were always extremely dull, extremely drab, and extremely poor looking, this is a shocking surprise for what Warner Brothers did on 4K Ultra HD. Now, keep in mind it is a film from 1959, but what they did for this made this film look so amazing. I couldn't believe some of the things I was seeing in this film that I never saw ever before on home video. And I've watched this in every iteration I've been able to get my hands on. I've had it on VHS, I've had it on DVD, I've had it on Blu-ray. I even went to see it in theaters when they had some special screenings of it. That's how much I've enjoyed this film, but I can tell you, this is the best way I've ever experienced this film. It is truly one of those films that everybody needs to watch and experience. It has the natural film grain present throughout it. They did not DNR it away or take it away. And the restoration they did for Rio Bravo got rid of so much of the damage. And there was like little things like squiggles in the film and little tears and smudges and blots and splotches. Man, they took out so much of them and fixed it and repaired it that it truly is a brand new experience to see this on this 4K release. And is one of those that Warner Brothers surprised me with the amazing job they did on this. Now, getting to the rough average bitrate, this did have a healthy 55 megabits per second. So it was nice and healthy from beginning to end. I will tell you, the image will really surprise you how enjoyable it is. Audio-wise, that was another nice uptick in quality over the previous Blu-ray. It was a bit louder, had better clarity, without any of the clicks or hisses that were present on the previous poor Blu-ray releases. Those are gone on this. It had the best sounding audio I've ever heard on home video either, and easily ranked up there at number 7 on my must-own, must-buy 4K Ultra HD releases. And I'll be honest with you, this one was hard for me not to review originally because I didn't get it in. My copy didn't show up for almost a month after this was released. So I was never able to review it until now. That's why I wanted to make sure to include it in this, because this is one of those must-own, must-buy 4Ks. You don't have this in your collection, you need to go down and buy it right now. And I will tell you, this is one of those limited releases that is only available on a few sites. That Amazon sale link down there below is one of the few places you can even buy this, because this is one of those manufactured on demand releases that Warner Brothers is doing. Now, if you want to know another recommendation of some great Western 4K Ultra HD releases, you want to check out my review of the Renowned Westerns 4K box set that came out from Criterion. I did a complete in-depth analysis on that box set. Those are some great Western films, and I do really enjoy the Western genre, so if you want to check out some other films, you'll want to watch that review after you get done with this video. Coming in at number 6 is The Princess Bride from Criterion Collection. Now, I have gotten hundreds of requests to do this review, so because it was one that wasn't sent for review and kind of got put on the back burner because of how much stuff I've been getting in for review that I've had to test and analyze, now I'm getting to this. So Princess Bride does come in at number 6 for several reasons. I do own and previously did the Turbine 4K Ultra HD release review here on my YouTube channel. If you haven't checked out that video, it's been available for a long time. I dived into this, and Turbine did a great job on their 4K restoration and 4K Ultra HD release. Well, all of you were asking which one of these comes out ahead as the ultimate way to own and watch The Princess Bride on 4K. So I did my testing, dived into both of these, went side by side to share that with all of you. Now, I can tell you both of these are native 4K 2160p transfers. Now, talking about The Princess Bride from Criterion, you do get Dolby Vision and HDR10 on it. I can tell you between those two, the easy winner was Dolby Vision. That one was about 9 to 10% better looking than the HDR10 transfer was. That was the one that was the clear winner on this release. And I can tell you image quality wise, it's very nicely detailed. It has film grain from beginning to end. It was not DNR'd away, just like on Turbine's release that had natural film grain as well. But as far as the upgrade in image quality goes, Princess Bride from Criterion Collection just gets a slight one up. There is just slightly better details in the image and just slightly more depth, but it is slight. If you own the previous Turbine release, you're gonna have to think about whether you want the slight upgrade or not in image quality. There is one other difference that you will easily notice on Criterion Collections, and that is that the Criterion Collection 4K has a rough average bitrate advantage of 16 megabits per second over Turbine's release. So Criterion Collection's release is 16 megabits per second higher on average through the entire runtime than what you got from Turbine. So the total rough average bitrate for The Princess Bride on 4K Ultra HD is a high and healthy 76 megabits per second. So you get a slight increase in detail, a slight increase in the depth in the image, and a noticeable increase in the rough average bitrate. That is where I will say the Criterion Collection came out just slightly ahead of Turbine's 4K Ultra HD release. So that's why The Princess Bride from 1987, the great cult classic romantic comedy that I love watching over and over, this does come highly recommended as a must buy you need to buy and have in your collection, especially if you don't own Turbine's 4K release from before. This is a must buy easy over all previous home video releases that were released on Blu-ray, DVD, VHS. This blows all of those out of the water. Now, if you have Turbines and you love the film, just like me, I bought this. This was not sent for review, and I'm happy I have it because I love the film so much. I want to have each edition of it. So it's nice to have both editions, even though this is only a slight upgrade over Turbines. For me, as a physical fan of this film, I liked this book that they put it in, how it's a hardcover book with all the artwork on it and the book that comes inside it. I really liked that. So to me, it was worth the price of admission for that, getting those slight upgrades in image quality. So that's why it earned number 6 on a must-own, must-buy 4Ks that I didn't get to review previously. Now I've reviewed it for all of you. I've told you the testing data. Now you know if this is something you need to buy and add to your collection. If you're gonna buy it, I put that direct sale link down below. Coming in at number 5 is Transformers: Rise of the Beasts. Now this is one of those guilty pleasure films. I have loved Transformers from the first film all the way through now. I've liked the new going back in time, kind of rebooting the universe slightly. I've really enjoyed it. This film is one of those though that the story, you gotta go into it understanding it does have cheesy elements. The humor is lighthearted. The special effects aren't always realistic, but it is really popcorn, eye candy. You sit back, you enjoy the film, and you just have a fun time without thinking too hard. Love the Transformers franchise just for that reason alone. I can sit back, have a fun time, not really worry about much of anything, and it's just really eye popcorn candy. Amazing visuals that on this native 4K truly look outstanding. And on this native 4K, it got a Dolby Vision and HDR10 master. Looks great. Between both the HDR10 and Dolby Vision, I really couldn't tell much of the difference. Both of them looked really outstanding. Colors on this really do shine through brilliantly. It has brilliant whites and inky blacks and no black crush. Details on the 4K image really do shine through great. You can see so much depth and detail because it's a native 4K. And as I like to say, it is crispy detailed. And I'll tell you, it doesn't stop there. We got another big treat on this 4K Ultra HD release. We get an English Dolby Atmos mix that is extremely strong and immersive. It uses those height channels really surprising. There will be times you'll like look over at your different height channels and you'll look up and you'll hear things coming above you. because they really implemented it very well. Now, the only downside of the Dolby Atmos on this, and there's only one, it's that I did have to turn it up about 2 notches louder than I normally do. But otherwise, it used those height channels really well. And I will say it had some very impressive LFE. Wow. One of those 4K releases that really blew my mind at how good of a job they did with this, especially because I love the Transformers franchise. And I must say, this SteelBook is the way to own it. I loved this artwork, how shiny and glossy, all the colors on it. Thought it was a great job and loved the artwork, even on the back, how it has all the artwork on it. Man, I was really impressed with the SteelBook and loved the Dolby Atmos, Dolby Vision presentation. Really stunner of a 4K release. And to put the cherry on top, for the rough average bitrate, this had a very strong and very healthy 71 megabits per second. I was amazed at the rough average bitrate and how high and healthy it was from beginning to end. Really lends to why this has such a nice native 4K presentation, and easily earned its spot at number 5 on my top 10 countdown. Must own, must buy 4K Ultra HD release you gotta have in your collection. I'll put the SteelBook down below and the regular edition, depending on which one you want to buy. If you want the regular standard case, it's a little less expensive. I'll put that link down there below, as well as the SteelBook release. But for me, this SteelBook I absolutely loved. Coming in at number 4 is East of Eden. This is the James Dean classic film from 1955. Warner Brothers did a brand new 4K restoration, and this is a native 4K 2160p. And it does have HDR10 on it. I will tell you, for this 4K restoration, they cleaned up spots, smudges, speckles, tears, really did an outstanding job with the restoration. The 4K image on this, especially for the time period 1955, is a very impressive looking 4K restoration. The depth and detail they brought out of this image easily blew away all previous home video releases, including the previous Blu-ray that was incredibly soft and dull looking. This absolutely blew it away. The implementation with that new color grading they did with the HDR10 for this really was a nice addition, and adds to the depth of what you feel that you see from the colors, skin tones, sky, and everything all around. Really was nice on this 4K release. But we had one more big surprise, which is why this earned this the number 4 on my list. This got a brand new English Dolby Atmos mix. For a film from 1955, I did not expect Warner Brothers to do a brand new Dolby Atmos mix. It was very enjoyable. For a film from 1955, I'm amazed at how they used some of the things, like even the height channels, get some use throughout it. That honestly brought a smile to my face for a film that I never ever expected a Dolby Atmos mix on, and it does sound very good. If you compare this to other films from 1955, the 1960s, and the 1970s, the audio mix on this blows a lot of those out of the water. I'm not going to say it's perfect and is the best one I've ever heard, but if you compare it from films from that time period that have gotten Dolby Atmos mixes, Warner Brothers did a very impressive job with the image and the Dolby Atmos mix on this. Now, getting to the rough average bitrate, this had a high and healthy 70 megabits per second. Really great job, Warner Brothers. Easily earned it number 4 on my top 10 of must-own, must-buy 4K Ultra HD releases. This is another one of those I really wanted to review previously, but just like with Rio Bravo that I talked about earlier, it didn't come to me for review early. It actually came a month after release date, so it kind of got pushed on the back burner. And now I'm getting to review and talk about it with all of you, and I'm thrilled because it's a great release that you must buy and must own. Now, if you want to know about any of the other James Dean 4K releases and 4K restorations, I've done them all. I did Giant previously with a 4K versus Blu-ray image comparison review, and I did Rebel Without a Cause with an exclusive 4K versus Blu-ray image comparison review here on my YouTube channel. They're both available right now. If you want to own all of James Dean's films on 4K, check out those reviews after you get done with this video. I cover everything you need to know about both of those 4K releases, and they're available to watch right now. Coming in at number 3 is Guardians of the Galaxy from 2023. This is Volume 3, the final film in the trilogy. And I will tell you, James Gunn did a great job bringing Guardians of the Galaxy to the Marvel Cinematic Universe in their own quirky way. I like these because they're different than a lot of the Marvel films. These are done in a very quirky sci-fi universe with their own sense of humor that is well done. I absolutely love all of the films in the series, and they stand on their own. You don't really have to know much about anything else about the Marvel universe. You can kind of watch them all, and they're kind of their own sci-fi story that builds upon it. There are things that harken to elements of what's gone on in the Marvel universe, and it's good to know about that, but it's honestly just a great sci-fi universe on its own. Well, here's what's unique about this 4K release. This was the start of Disney's resurgence in physical media. They changed with this film on 4K how they did their Dolby Atmos audio mixes and how they did their 4K image presentations. All started with this film. This is one of those I wanted to talk about originally, but again, just didn't have the time because there were so many things that I was working on. This is a very impressive native 4K 2160p transfer with HDR10 on it, and the Dolby Atmos is very immersive, and for once is not as quiet of a Dolby Atmos mix as the previous Disney iterations before this. This was the beginning of when Disney started putting love and care into their 4K Ultra HD releases of recent. With impressive visual and audio quality, depth and detail in the image is very nice. Now I can tell you for its rough average bitrate, this had a healthy 55 megabits per second. And with such a great start of Disney presenting multiple aspect ratios for you to enjoy on it so you're not missing out on that, and Disney put a lot more love and care into this film, which then carried over into like Cinderella that I've reviewed, or Snow White, or Loki, and Prey. If you haven't checked out any of those reviews here on this channel, I did all of those. Exclusive 4K versus Blu-ray image comparisons. Those all came after this. This was the start of their amazing job on 4K releases, and it's continued in each and every one of those releases that I've reviewed. Amazing job, must own, must buy 4K Ultra HD release. Coming in at number 2 is The Flash from 2023. Now this film is special to me simply because they brought back Michael Keaton's Batman from the 80s. I love Michael Keaton's Batman. I grew up on him. That's what I grew up as, Batman. I love that part of the story alone. Now I won't give away all of the other cameos, but I will tell you, there is so many cameos and cool things, winks and nods to other elements from the DC universe. That alone made the film enjoyable. But it doesn't stop there. For The Flash on 4K, we got a native 4K 2160p with Dolby Vision and HDR10. And we got a surprisingly wonderful Dolby Atmos audio mix that is extremely immersive, pulls you into that film. You really feel things around you and above you with some great use of LFE. Everything you could want out of a Dolby Atmos mix, including with amazing image quality, this film's got it. Now, I won't say it's the best story ever. There are some clunky elements, and I will say the special effects could have used some more work. But for what it did bring to the table in such an epic universe, trying to incorporate all these little nods to things that I grew up with back in the 80s, the 90s, and all the things that didn't come from Tim Burton. And if you know what I mean, you know what I mean. But there's so many things that I thought were so cool and such cool elements to have in this film that really, to me, it just was one of those that tickled me pink, and I loved this. The 4K release of this film is a must-own just for the Dolby Atmos and the visual presentation alone. It's a stunner, must-buy, must-own 4K release. Getting to my number 1 on my top 10 countdown of 4Ks that I didn't have the time to review previously list, we've got John Wick on 4K Ultra HD. An absolutely stunning reference quality 4K Ultra HD release, image and sound quality, native 4K 2160p with both Dolby Vision and HDR10, Dolby Vision being the clear winner, almost 10% better color grading and tones than the HDR10. HDR10 still amazing, but that Dolby Vision is really just wow. Ultimate and immersive Dolby Atmos audio mix. Man, the sound effects they use for gunshots overhead, explosions, tires flying overhead, things flying by, going around you. You feel like the action is happening behind you, above you, and all around you the entire time. Amazing reference quality Dolby Atmos mix on this film. And I said, the visual quality is absolutely stunning as well. For John Wick Chapter 4, they pulled out all the stops for this 4K Ultra HD release, And to finish up the film series, because my understanding is this is the final one with actually John Wick's character in it. Amazing job. Really just one of those stunning 4K releases that everybody needs to have in their collection. Show off your amazing Dolby Atmos or your home theater setup with this disc. Getting to the rough average bitrate, this had a very healthy and strong 64 megabits per second. Again, amazing job. Outstanding 4K Ultra HD release that is a must-buy, must-own release of an amazing action series that really did build upon each film. Now, do I think the fourth one is the best in the series film-wise? No. I do think it's the weaker of the stories, but I kind of got what they were doing. They were trying to bring more bigger stars, bigger enemies, bigger fights, and they kind of just kept building as the series went on. It does kind of slightly in the sense of they kind of build bigger each film. Reminds me just slightly of the Fast and Furious franchise, how they kept trying to build bigger and bigger and bigger. But thankfully with John Wick, they only did 4 films. Unlike the Fast and Furious franchise that is now on 10 and now they're working on 11. And I do feel like that franchise has gone on too long, but I digress into something else. At least with this, I do feel like the 4 films, they're enjoyable. They wrapped up really basically everything. I don't really want more out of the story, I don't feel like. I just enjoyed each for their own. And I will tell you though, this was so impressive. It easily earned its #1 spot on my top 10 countdown of 4Ks that I just didn't get to review previously because of time-wise. Now this is done. This is a must-buy. This is a must-own. Let me know what of these you're going to buy and add to your collection. What of these did you miss out on getting? I mean, heck, a lot of these, just like this one, I didn't get it originally until just recently. Then I got to dive in and test it and analyze it, and that's when I realized how amazing of a release this was. There's been so many amazing physical media releases this year that it's been hard to keep up with all of them. This video was to get you all of these mini reviews and analysis so you know what of these that you might have missed out on that you need to buy and add to your collection that are must-own 4Ks. Each and every one of these you need to have in your collection. Let me know in the comment section below what of these don't you own yet that now you're gonna buy and add to your collection. Let me know what of these you're excited about and what of these you're thrilled are must-own 4Ks. I put all those direct sale links from Amazon in the description section and as a pinned comment right below. Any of these you're gonna buy, make sure to click on those links below. Those help to support the creation of every single one of these videos just a tiny bit. Never cost you even a penny extra when you click on those. If you want to help to support this channel even more, make sure to join my Collectors VIP Club. It only costs you, the viewer, less than a couple of bucks every month, but after what YouTube takes its 35%, I get about $1. That helps me to be able to keep going out there, getting all this stuff in, testing, analyzing, creating all these exclusive videos, just like this video where I pulled all the native images off of each of the discs exclusively here on my channel to show you above the native image of each of these so you know the quality of them. That's something that takes me a ton of time and a ton of work, costs a ton of computer equipment and analysis for me to do all of that for all of you. Make sure if you watch these videos and you enjoy them here on my channel, support the channel by joining my Collectors VIP Club and use those Amazon sale links always right below. As always, I want to say thank you to every one of my current VIP Club members. As always, make sure to give this video a like and a thumbs up for me. Hit that subscribe button and the bell notification. I truly hope every single one of you that watches this video has a blessed day. And as always, I've got something early, exclusive, and exciting coming out very soon.